So guys, this is the second half to my video. As I was saying, I got tired of living like that day after day. You know, and it's it's really embarrassing to have to say these things. But I just don't feel the need to hide them, because I feel like some of his people, or people that he's around, feel that I was the problem, which, you know what, they know that I wasn't the problem. They know that it wasn't me. But whose side are they going to take? His. And so, if that's what they choose to do, go right ahead. But at the end of the day, you can look at your brother or cousin and see that he need help. And, you know, that's what a lot of his problem was. He knew that he had people that, first of all, that does the same thing. So he knew he had places to run to do it, to get it. And these people look forward to him, you know, just like they look forward to anybody else coming through. And so when you get to the place where something takes you away from home for days, and then you come back looking a hot mess, you know, and you continue to want forgiveness, you continue to want somebody to look past it, look over it, it's time to draw the line. It's time to shut it down, because then now you really showing me that you have no respect, you have no morals for yourself. So how could you have any respect for me? And then, you want people to think that he can do what he wants and throw it in my face? No, I got tired. And so this video for me is a release of all that bad energy, all that lying, all that deceitfulness, you know, because I might have would have gave it another chance had he showed me something different, you know. But honestly, when you lose trust for a person, when you lose that trust for a person, that trust is up. That's the kicker right there. When you can't trust a person to leave to go do a job and come back home, they end up staying gone for 2-3 days. Now, first of all, you know, the job that you did wasn't nothing, but it was something. But you couldn't come back home. You know, I know. So yes, I know that people may think that I'm crazy because I made this video, or, think what you want. This is just locking the box. Locking the box. I just felt the need to release myself so that I can continue on my journey fresh. No disruptions, no chaos, no mess. There's a lot of things that I've been wanting to do. And I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to sit around being blue for nothing or no one. And I said, you know what? If I gotta go, I went 7 years, then I went 10 years. And if I gotta go to the end of my years without someone in my life, that's my number one man up there. And the only thing he brings me is peace. He don't bring me no mess. He don't lie to me. He don't deceive me. And I know this for sure. He's going to always be here for me. Amen. When everybody else flee, God sees me. And so with that being said, yeah, there's still a little ache in there. It's a little ache of a disappointment. You know, I'm not mad, I'm not sad. You know, well, like I said, it is a little ache in there. But that's only normal. You know, it's only normal. I've just lost interest. I've lost interest in the same routine, the same pattern, and that is nothing. Okay, money does not solve all problems. Okay, a woman needs to be fed, and she needs to be fed the right things. Peace, love, joy, and happiness. Okay? Not saying every day is going to be a good day, but if that's what she's giving you, then you should be more than happy to give it back to her. Okay? And same is vice versa, because there's men as well that has had women that just couldn't seem to stop doing what they were doing. You know, and so, like I said, you just get to the point to where you're tired, you're done. You don't have any more energy to waste on that person. You know, you don't see a change. You just don't see a good outcome with this person. And when that happens, then you know it's time to give it up. You know it's time to let God take the wheel. And just pray about it. Stay in prayer about it. Meditate. Not about that, but on the things that you want to do. The things that you want out of life. Just meditate on your goals and your hopes, your dreams. You know, as I said, every day ain't gonna be perfect, but it's how you handle it. And right now, I'm handling it in a way of, hey, I did my best. I tried, and I tried. And, you know, this person had been, you know, I think a lot of it too, he had been done dirty by the couple of women that he had, which he said he never really had a real relationship until he met me. So, you know, I guess, you know, I don't know what that was, but some of the things I heard about, some of the things I heard, I can clearly see that apparently they didn't want him. So, you know, they got tired too, which, you know, I don't know why they got tired, but I know they got tired. So, I didn't know any of that until further in, you know, but I could, after reading between the lines and And knowing that he had been dealing in the stuff he had been dealing in for years before I met him, well, got in tune with him. Um, yeah, you know. So, but like I said, you know, you gotta take the bitter with the sweet. You know, it just boggles your mind. You know, why can't a person see that they have something good and be humble? Why do they gotta test the waters to see how much they can do, how far they can go, and what they can get away with? You know, and it starts with what you do in the beginning of your relationship. If you are a person, I feel like me, that just has a big heart and you just keep trying to see the best in a person, you keep trying to uplift this person and try to paint this picture for a person, letting him see that it's better things out there. It's better things to do with your time, your money. You know? So, he may see this and he may not. If so, then he know. But anyway, yeah, I just want to put a warning out there. Listen, nip it in the bud early on. Nip it in the bud early on so that you don't get years down the road and be miserable with a person because of their mishaps. Because they choose not to do the right thing. They choose not to be right. They choose not to be the person that you need. Nip it in the bud early on. Don't let it go on. Because I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to kick your own self in the, okay? You're going to sit back one day and say to yourself, how in the did I let this go on for so long? I was the one that had boundaries set, but yet I let someone cross the line. Not once, not twice, not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. You know, the count goes on. You know, and it wasn't because I was desperate, hard up, lonely, none of that. It was simply because I seen something in him that he don't see in himself. You know, and I pray that one day he will, because we sure ain't getting no younger, okay? We're not getting any younger, but I didn't even see anyone else uplifting him. I've never heard anyone else try to give him a little bit of not words, speak anything to him about getting himself together, or, you know, suggesting help, or none of that. But I did get some, or heard, you know, you grown, you can do what you want to do. Once you do take care of her, give her whatever, you should be able to do whatever you want to do. I heard a lot of that type of encouragement, wanting to pushing them to it, you know, making them feel like it was okay. He went and worked a job, he took care of home, and now he can splurge. Why would you want to keep splurging on that? Making other folks rich. Or not rich, because I don't think anybody rich. Not in that group, not around that. But anyway, you know, I didn't hear any of that. You know, at one point, we were going to church and stuff together, and I even found out that he was really going to church to show off his clothes. You know, I could clearly see that he really had no interest in church, unless he had something spiffy on, something new, something, you know, his jewelry and stuff like that. Yes, I like to go to church spiffy and stuff too, but be humble about it. Don't go to church just because of that. Okay, actually get something out of it. Okay, maybe if you had been getting something out of it, maybe you wouldn't be dealing with what you're dealing with now. You know, and I know this is probably going to make a lot of people angry, but I don't care, because I'm going to speak my mind. And I just, like I said, I felt the more I released, the more that's let go. Okay? And I can be, in my room is getting brighter already. You see that? But yeah, I have to get back in the routine of independency, handling my business by myself. Okay? Because you cannot depend on man. You just can't. You will get let down every time. You know, even I ain't all that dependable at times. So, but I guarantee you, if I can do it, I'm gonna get to it. You know. But yeah. So that's just my feelings with that. There's some that may relate to it. There's some that may say, "Oh, she's stupid for talking about that on there." But no, I'm not, because it's happening every day. I ain't the first, and I ain't gonna be the last. Like I said, this is a chapter closed. I've gotten it out of my system, and I'm just staying in tune with God. I'm just staying in tune with God, because you can't help anyone that don't want any help. You know, and then to continue going around the places, you know, knowing that you're weak. You know you're weak, so you intentionally go around these places to do it. Okay? But at the end of the day, the people that you're going around doing it are looking at you like you're stupid, really, and laughing to themselves that you've done messed up something good. What you did was messed over a blessing. Hopefully you'll get another one. But God bless you all. I pray that your evening goes your way. Myself, I'm about to fry me some chicken and make me some french fries. I'm hungry. Please, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I got some really good stuff here. I got some really good videos. And please subscribe and like. God bless you. I pray that everybody's day is going their way.